my name is Duval. I'm a physical therapist, and today I'm going to walk you through some advanced glute exercises that are intended to improve your overall foot and ankle health and foot and ankle stability. The reason that glutes are so important for your foot and ankle stability is because without glute stability up the chain, your ankles do not have the proper ability to stabilize and control your functional motion while you are walking. So very, very important that if you are rehabbing a foot and ankle injury, to make sure you're not just doing exercise designed for the foot and ankle, but also exercising all the way up the chain to your hip for full return to function. Okay, first exercise we're gonna do, you will need a TheraBand, just like this one. I'm going to put the TheraBand over both of my legs and up over my knees, okay? And once that TheraBand is in place, you'll step your feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. We're going to start with some squats. It's very important when you're doing squats to keep your weight in your heels so you're not letting your knees come way forwards like this, and also to press your knees out with the TheraBand. That's why you have this here, so that you're not letting your knees come in, okay? So shift your weight to your heels. You should be able to lift your toes up off the ground easily. You'll bend your knees, lower down. You're actually hinging forwards a little bit from your hips, as you can see here, so you're not straight up and down, right? You're sticking out your booty a bit and pressing your knees out into the band. You'll lower down and then come up. Squeeze your glutes at the top. Lower down, then come up. I want you to repeat about 10 to 15 of these until you really start to feel a glute burn. After your 10th or 15th rep, when you're really starting to feel those glutes work, you're gonna hold it low, okay? Make sure that your knees are back relatively behind your toes, right? It's okay if they're a little bit in front, but I don't want you like way out in front here. I want most of your weight in your heels. Holding low, you'll do little pulses with your knees. So you're pulsing your knees out into the band. Now notice my feet are not coming up off the ground, right? It's just the knees moving. You should really start to feel your glutes work here. 10 or 15 reps. After you've completed about 10 or 15 reps, you're gonna hold your knees out, shift your weight to one side, tap your foot out. Come back to center, tap, tap. So you're shifting your weight from one side to the other and staying low in the squat. Make sure that you continue pressing your knees out into the band so you're not letting your knees fall in. 10 to 15 reps here. You should really be feeling your glutes burn at that point, and that completes your glute warm up. Straighten your legs, take the band off of your knees. You'll come back to the band, but for now you can just put it to the side. Now for the next exercise, you'll want something kind of heavy. I have a 10-pound dumbbell here. If you have a dumbbell at home, maybe 10 to 15 pounds, that should work nicely. Otherwise, a heavy water bottle will also work nicely for this next exercise. Okay, so feet are spread pretty wide. I'm much wider than I was before. Really wide stance. Feet are much wider than hip width. You'll take the weight into one hand. I'm using my right hand. Bend your opposite knee. So if the weight's in your right hand, you're going to bend the left knee. Now notice my right foot over here. The foot is completely flat on the ground. I'm not turning it in or out, okay? So make sure that you keep that foot nice and flat on the ground and watch the mobility as I go from side to side. I'm slowly going to switch over to my other side, watch my foot over here, and see how the foot rotates as I move, okay? So the purpose here is to get mobility through the ankle while keeping the foot flat on the ground. You'll also notice that I'm switching the weight from one hand to the other. This is just going to keep the weight pretty stabilized in the center of my body. Opposite hand to knee that is bending, all right? So you switch back and forth. Not only will you feel this through your feet, you're also gonna feel this in your quads and in your glutes, okay? Again, 10 to 15 reps until you start to feel a burn. All right, next exercise. You will continue to use your weight. I'm going to be balancing on my right foot here. What I want you to do is find a single leg balance. Engage your core, engage your glutes. Nice single leg balance. It seems easy right now. Take a little micro bend into your stabilizing right leg. First rule, do not drop your dumbbell or your water bottle on your toes, okay? So make sure that you have a nice good grip on that dumbbell. And then slowly switch the dumbbell from one side to the other. Keep your gaze on one unmoving point. That's gonna really help with your balance. Now take a look, pan down to my foot here, take a look. You can see that my foot is really working to stabilize. And this is part of the reason why I like to exercise for the feet barefoot, because your foot has the opportunity to really interact with the ground. you have to strengthen through ankle stability, and you don't have like a big boot or shoe that's going to allow you to cheat, right? So it's really, really important here to exercise barefoot and make sure that you're allowing your foot that opportunity to interact with the ground. All right, once again, you'll do about 10 to 15 reps. And once you're feeling a good burn, not only through the ankle and calf, but through the stabilizing glute, you'll slowly stand up, shake it out, and we'll move on to the next exercise. This one you do not need the dumbbell for, so we'll put it down. This is called the running man. I'm gonna turn diagonally just so you can see what's happening. Again, I'm using my right foot as my stability leg, so whatever foot you are working on, that is your stability leg. You'll start in a single leg balance. Slowly bend the right knee and extend your left leg behind. Now notice that I'm not actually touching the ground with my left toes. They're just hovering just a few inches above the ground here. My left arm is forwards and my gaze is out in front of me. From here, you'll straighten the right knee and pull the left knee up into the chest. Then again, bend the right stability knee, extend that left leg back, straighten the right stability knee, pull the left knee into the chest. Okay? So for this running man, you should once again be feeling your stabilizing ankle really working, your foot interacting with the ground. You should also really be feeling your right glute working as you go from bent knee to straight all the way up, okay? Now, if this is already a burn, you might not want to move on, but if you're feeling like, okay, I got this, we're going to add a little bit extra, all right? So down into the low part of your running man, you'll hold it low. Now what's going to happen next is going to happen at my hip. You'll keep your stability leg facing forwards, then squeeze your glutes and open up your left hip. Slowly bring it back down. So the back toes are going from pointing down to the ground to pointing directly out to the side and back. Most of the action here is happening at my right stabilizing glute. So the right leg is the stability leg, and I'm really feeling it in my right glute as I open and close. You can turn this into a combination move. Open, close, running man up, running man down. Open, close, running man up, running man down. Real challenge for this stability here, okay? So as usual, as many as you can do with perfect form and no pain. For me, that's about 10 to 15 reps until I really start to feel a burn. All right, one last exercise for you guys today. I'm gonna get down on the ground. My right glute is burning, so I am going to demonstrate on my left side. You will once again take your band and place it around your feet all the way up to your knees. Now, if you watched my video that is basic exercises for foot and ankle stability that's focused on the glutes, you'll remember the clam shells. This is similar with a little bit of added fire for additional glute engagement. So what I want you to do is lie down on your side. You'll prop yourself up on your elbow. Band should be around your knees. Now you probably remember the regular clamshell, which is opening and closing the knees. We did not do it with a band in the last video. For intermediate, you can just add the band like I'm doing right now, and you will feel a burn through your glutes. Remember, you're not going to roll your hip back, right? So keep your hips stacked and stable as though you have a post going down through your hips. It does not matter how far open your knees go. What's more important here is feeling glute activation. If you have the band and you're feeling like you're ready for a little bit more, you're not quite feeling the burn in your glutes like you were previously, what you're going to do is press open with both knees and lift the hips. So you can see that now both legs are opening up into that abducted position, and you're getting a bit of a burn in both glutes, not just the top one. Okay, so we will do, again, as many as you can with perfect form and no pain, about 10 to 15 reps. Then slowly lower the hips down. We'll move into reverse clam shells, which we also did in my previous video, basic glute exercises for the foot and ankle. For this exercise, not much has actually changed. You're keeping your knees connected and opening up at the ankles only. Again, make sure those hips are not moving quite a lot. Next exercise, we did this one also in my initial video. You'll separate your knees and your ankles. This is your starting position. Now you'll notice already that your glute is firing because the band is giving you a little bit of resistance. From here, you'll internally rotate your top hip, tap your top knee to your bottom knee, and then open back up. This is a reverse flying clam. Internally rotate and open back up. You should feel a little bit more of a glute burn because now you have the band. Last clamshell exercise should also feel familiar from my previous video. The starting position is similar but different. Keep your knees and your ankles separated and bring your top knee back so it's in the same plane as your hip. Once again, you should feel a bit of a pull from that band. Then internally rotate, try to draw that top knee behind the bottom knee and come back up. Internally rotate, come back up. Make sure that your knee doesn't migrate forward. You really want to keep it back in line with the hip. Okay, so again, 10 to 15 reps here. One final exercise. You will keep the band around your bottom knee. Take the band over your top knee. Now loop the band around the sole of your foot. Okay, so it's on the bottom of my foot. From here, you'll bring your top knee into your chest and then straighten your leg and press that band away. Now, notice my toes, they're pointing directly forwards, maybe even a little bit down. What you don't want is for your toes to point up. This is like a relaxed position. This is not what we want, right? We're working the glutes, not watching TV. So make sure that you are keeping your hips stacked. Hip on top is internally rotated and toes are pointing forwards or down, okay? You will then bring the knee in and press it back. Bring it in. Press it back, 10 to 15 reps. After your 10th or 15th rep, the last one, you're gonna hold it back and I want you to pulse it up. Pulse, pulse, pulse. You should really be feeling this one. Again, 10 to 15 reps, then hold it up, make circles one direction. I don't care which one because you're gonna do both. Little tiny circles leading with your heel. Make sure your leg is not coming forwards, right? Because see how the band just came off of my knee? That's not what you want. Keep the band over your knee and keep your leg back. It should be behind the plane of your hip, never in front. Okay, this is not working your glutes. This is working the front of your hip, which is not what we're after. So keep it back. And then of course, after your 10 or 15 reps, you're gonna switch directions and go the other way. After you've completed this, you should feel a pretty good burn through your glutes. I'm definitely feeling it. So make sure that you shake everything out. Give yourself a nice figure 4 stretch. Oh, that feels pretty good, right? So that your glutes get a nice loosening stretch after all of that work. Okay guys, that was a lot of glute exercises. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you can get through all of these, feel a nice glute burn, and improve your stability down the chain for proper foot and ankle health. Thank you so much.